the latest headlines to conversations about the trends and shifts that shape society at large. Explore what makes living in Korea interesting with Life Abroad on TBS EFM.
Let's get a checkup on the news now with Issue Today. And Angela Chung has joined me in the studio. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Sunyoung.
Happy Friday.
Yes. and the
Happy start
weekend.
of a long weekend, no
Yes.
less, as well. So you're looking forward to the long weekend?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll just rest for the four full days.
Yes, 4 full days, exactly. Get a lot of rest. Now, let me ask you, I think I know the answer to this, but you do drive, right, Angela?
Yes, I do drive.
What kind of a car do you drive, if you don't mind my asking? For example, is it an electric car?
No, unfortunately, it's not. I really want one, but I'm just driving just a regular gasoline car.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I wish I had sort of more foresight. And when I changed my car about 6 years ago, I wish I had gone for an electric car. But honestly, at the time, it was so difficult to find charging stations. And I think I'm not the only one who actually felt that way. But it's getting easier, right? And it's going to get even easier in the coming future as well.
That's right. Many big apartment complexes already have EV charging stations in their parking lots. The popularity of EV is definitely a good thing for the environment, but on the other hand, it could arguably cause a decrease in conventional gasoline industry. Many gas stations have shut down their businesses temporarily or permanently as the number of EVs and hydrogen-powered vehicles increases. So many of the gas stations just remain idle for years, and they have increasingly become a pain in the neck for residents in the neighborhood. For instance, 3 gas stations along a national highway temporarily shut down, and some street vendors have taken the place, selling clothes or other things in front of the closed gas pumps. There is a notice from a fire station that says safety-related problems could occur with gas stations if they remain unattended.
There are safety-related problems with a fire, potential hazard as well. So tell us more about this.
Yes, what's problematic is even if the gas station closed their businesses, if gas storage containers have not been completely removed from the site, it can lead to safety-related issues. And if gas is leaking into underground, it can also contaminate soil and underground water.
Like you say, it can lead to very serious problems, hazards, and also for the environment as well. So why don't the owners of these idle gas stations completely shut down their businesses and, of course, do the accompanying sort of regular cleanup as well?
So that's because it costs more than 100 million won to get the facilities removed from the site and purify the soil under the site. So even if you want to permanently close the station, they simply cannot afford it. So about 510 gas stations reported they would temporarily suspend their business operation. This means many of them will look more like those abandoned gas stations, according to experts. For the conventional gasoline industry, more EVs and hydrogen vehicles mean a decrease in their market share. So it's said 74% of the gas pumps will have to go out of the market for the industry to survive.
Well, it seems like an urgent measure is needed to deal with this potential hazard then. Thank you very much for that first story. Let's move on to number 2 now. Another growing problem, of course, we've mentioned it quite a few times, but food delivery services. This, I'm sure that you use, right? Like everyone.
Right. So my family used to not really deliver except the
Really?
Chinese food. But these days, of course, I work from home. My
Right.
husband works from home from time to time. So it's not really easy to not deliver. And even great restaurants all deliver these days.
That's
so
very much
it's,
true.
Yeah, it's a top choice.
Right. So unfortunately, that means that there's a lot more disposable plastic sort of food containers. And this is a huge problem. I mean, there's been some talk about having to introduce some measures to deal with it.
So new delivery companies hold a lot of promotions or even give discounts to attract customers. And this can be another reason that people choose to have their meals delivered rather than cook at home. But after we finish eating, of course, we have a lot of empty containers to throw away after a single use or single delivery. So I have some statistics here. This year, the number of disposable containers used for food delivery amounts to 54 million for just 1 month. But I have good news that will lessen the environmental concerns. So Seoul City government plans to phase out disposable food containers for the next 3 months, starting from October 12th, in cooperation with Yogiyo, a food delivery platform. The Seoul City aims to increase the use of reusable containers for food delivery gradually until no disposable containers will be used for delivery.
It's a commendable sort of attempt. I'm sure it'll take a little bit of time for it to take hold because disposable and all these one-use containers are just so convenient, and especially with the pandemic. I think a lot of people are kind of feeling concerned about reusable containers as well. But tell us more about this campaign. What's it going to do and what's going to change first?
So Seoul City government is going to sign an agreement with Delivery Hero Korea, Korea Franchise Association, and Eat Green in October. Based on this agreement, Seoul City will provide management and administrative support for the campaign. Delivery Hero Korea is going to promote the use of reusable containers proactively by adding new elements to the Yogyo application. And it's all like IT related. So it will display participating restaurants, create a reusable category, and add an upper banner on the application to advertise and promote this more of a use. The Korea Franchise Association will induce participation from restaurants in the target areas.
Right. You know what? This kind of reminds me of the long time ago when we used to order Chinese food. They would come in plastic, multi-use containers, and then they would just simply collect it.
Right.
So that is definitely a more environmentally friendly way. But then who's going to be collecting it? Who's going to be washing it? And some of these restaurants, they really don't have maybe the facilities or the staff to take care of all that washing and cleaning, right?
That's right. So Seoul City will hire a company with expertise in this area that will rent and collect reusable containers to and from restaurants, wash them, and resupply the containers after cleaning for delivery dedicated restaurants that don't have such processes or resources. For consumers' part, since the reusable mark will be placed in front of a name of a restaurant on the app, consumers can choose restaurants that use reusable food containers. And I'm sure these days a lot of MZ generations are very, very aware of the...
Oh, definitely.
Yes. So it will be, hopefully it will work. So the pilot project of this is scheduled for about 100 restaurants in Gangnam-gu area first.
So along with this and hopefully the campaign to bring your own containers when you're doing maybe takeout, hopefully that'll take hold and more restaurants and delivery sort of companies will adopt this as well. I, for one, would definitely go for a restaurant that has this service as well. All right, let's move on to our third and last question, our last issue, rather. Now, this weekend, of course, Saturday is Hangul Day, and we've got some special events to commemorate the entire week because it's actually being called Hangul Week and it's devoted to the Korean alphabet.
We have Hangul Day tomorrow on October 9th. So this week is Hangul Week. To mark 575th Hangul Nar, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism will hold various events under the theme of Our Hangul Connect the World. Considering the widespread COVID-19, the events will be held online on the Hangul Week website. So Korean cultural centers and King Sejong Institute overseas will also host a lot of events to remind Korean people of the spirit and meaning of the Hangul creation.
Okay, could you give us a brief overview of some of the events that we can expect to see?
Sure. In Korea, special programs such as Urimal Battle, poems which became a song, the future of speech will be aired on the main broadcasting channels. A wide range of contact-free events will also be held on social media, such as a four-line poem, which is 사행시 in Korean. The Korean Cultural Center in France will hold a special exhibition titled Hangul Design, Transforming a Form. The Korea Culture Center in Los Angeles will hold a calligraphy performance titled Elegant Handwriting. And for those who have contributed to the development of Hangul, the government medals and awards will be granted in the recognition of their dedication.
All right, lots of events just to remind us, of course, of the beauty and the glory of Hangul. Thank you very much for those updates, Angela. Have a great, restful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.